Hello and welcome to LadyApplejack Speaks VA, a VA channel here on YouTube that focuses on the Netflix series Stranger Things. And this is going to be kind of different than what I usually do on this channel when it comes to introductions. I want to profusely apologize to each and every one of you. Why, you ask? Well, funny thing happened. So, as you guys know, I uploaded the new episode 17, this morning. I think the final upload on YouTube was like around 3 o'clock, if I remember correct, from the timestamp. Anyway, usually when I do any sort of new episode, after I get done recording it, I usually listen to the audio to see if everything is up to snuff, if there's any sort of interference inside the audio. Well, for multiple different reasons, I didn't listen to the audio last night or this morning. I didn't listen to the audio, one, because it was late and I was tired and obviously not thinking right. And two, anytime that I have to do any sort of singing, I kind of cringe and I don't like listening to my voice. It's taken a long enough time for me to listen to my voice in speaking format, but singing, it scares me. So what I did was I just went ahead and did my editing of the video, like layering the soundtrack with the images and such, and threw it out there. And I was like, okay, it's out there. I can't take it down. I can't freak out about my singing voice. It's gone. And sayonara, I'm going to go to sleep. So I went to sleep and woke up this morning. And I was greeted with a bunch of messages. And it was on YouTube. It was on TikTok. And it was also on Instagram. I kept getting messages from people saying, hey, I love the episode, but why did you leave it like that? Like, what is going on? And I was thinking to myself, wait, I thought I kind of left out on like a little cliffhanger, not this really big catastrophe cliffhanger. And I was thinking that was the problem. And I was like, that just doesn't make sense. So I asked my husband to listen to the recording for me. And I said, give it a listen and let me know at the end if, I didn't, make something clear or something. Because, I'm getting conflicting messages from people saying that certain things weren't clear. And I didn't want... I need to figure out what the problem is. So he went in and he listened to it. He gave me a call and he was like, hey, it was a good episode, but what's with Eddie having the last word at the end? Like, what the hell? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he explained to me that at the very end of that script, where it starts blending into the music, he said it stops and Eddie says goodbye, and that's it. And I said, wait a second, that's 15 minutes are unaccounted for. There's 15 minutes of dialogue that's missing. So I went back in and I started listening to it. I can't talk. And if I started freaking out a little bit because it cut off the last 15 minutes. I'm like, what the hell is going on? There's 15 minutes that's just gone. So I figured out, this is what I came to figure out. Sometime between that dialogue with Eddie and the whole section that was missing, which was Liz's dialogue, my microphone stopped working. I don't know what happened. It was a complete fluke, which is really strange because I noticed I was doing some strange things before, but strange things, get it? But I just kind of wrote it off oh, well, whatever. It's probably user error. And then I had that incident this morning and I'm like, okay, maybe it's time that I just replace this mic too. So I ended up having to replace it. I also got a backup too, just in case this ever happens again, which I hope it doesn't. But yeah, it was rough, you guys. I had a very rough day. I was like, shoot, because like I particularly love the last part of the script, and I wish that you guys could have enjoyed it at its full potential. But um anyways, here we are. I'm re-recording, and as I'm re-recording this, I'm doing it on my phone mic. So the quality is probably not going to be that great, and I apologize profusely, but the last then my new microphone isn't going to arrive until sometime tomorrow morning between 4 and 8, and I'm like, I need to get this out. So I hope this is good and you guys can understand everything and there's no interference. This particular episode, like I said, since it's a fluke and unexpected, is episode 18, and it picks up where we left off, which was January 5th, 1986. This is going to be entirely Liz's point of view. So her narrative, you can internalize it, you could think of it as a fourth wall. For some reason, with Liz, I always think of it as internal. With Eddie, I always think of it as fourth wall. I don't know what it is. I think it might be their personalities. Liz is very reserved in a sense that she kind of keeps everything to herself, kind of close to her chest, if you will, like, you know, those old poker sayings. And Eddie is more forthcoming about things. So I don't know. That's up to you guys. But anyways, this is all in Liz's narrative, and there's going to be a few snippets of Eddie in here. You'll see what that is. But this episode, it is titled Never My Love. And this is a song from a band called The Association, and I think they released it in 66 or 67. I can't remember. But anyways, this song is near and dear to my heart. I know I say that about almost every single song that I bring up on here. Keep in mind, I grew up in a house that was full of music. My mom, she was and still is a very big music person. She listens to all kinds of music, and we get along so well because of her passion for music. She would always, for my birthday or Christmas or whatever would come about, she would always get me a new album, whether that would be like one of these 60s albums, or she would get me, like one year she got me Metallica Reload because she heard somebody say that at work that it was a good album, and Master of Puppets was another one she got me. She got me all kinds of music. That's where I got my passion for music for, and this is no exception here. The Association was a band that she would play often inside our house on the record player or the cassette player, what have you. So it brings back good memories. So naturally, when I was trying to come up with a title for this episode, this is the title I came up with because of the nostalgia. And I also just think if you listen to it, it's very much Eddie and Liz. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, the rating on this episode is going to still remain PG-13, but there are no apparent trigger warnings that you have to worry about. I think I got most of those out in the open on episode 17. And the only thing that you probably have to be concerned with is some strong language. But now that I think about it, I don't think there's really much strong language in here. So yeah, you might not have to worry about that at all. But still, just to cover my butt, I'm going to say PG-13. And yeah, I think that's all we got here. Oh, and also, I noticed another snafu. Actually, my husband picked up on it. He needs to become my editor at this point. I had made the thumbnails for this episode this morning, and I put series 1 and not series 2. So just keep that in mind. I messed that up, and I apologize profusely. I need to start sleeping more at this point. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I hope it answers some of your guys' questions. All right, let's just jump right into it. Liz's point of view, the upside down, time unknown. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving him. I don't care what he or the others have planned. Their faces look down at me from the gateway, frantic and waiting. They're calling me to climb up the rope, begging me for me to join them. But I can't. I look back at Eddie, my Eds, and watch with fear as he faces Vecna and his crony of demon bats as they descend upon him. Just him. He has no backup. Yet, he doesn't appear scared. His jaw is set in determination, and he's ready like a knight guarding his lady in waiting. I can't leave him. I look back at the rope. Yes, it would be so easy to climb up and leave all this behind. But I can't. Raising my palms, I focus so hard, my eyes narrowing onto that rope, my palms facing it, and soon setting the rope ablaze, breaking its link to the other side. The screams and shouts of our friends above me, begging me to stop, are drowned out by the flames being fed. I rush back towards Eddie once the damage to the rope is complete. My vision tunneling as I watch in horror as the demon bats begin darting towards him. I hear his screams mixed with rage and pain as they try tearing him apart. I trip over one of the tentacles on the ground, falling just a few feet away from him. No, 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 no! I see the blood staining his hellfire shirt and bubbling at the corners of his lips. Lips I've kissed so many times. No. Oh, not Eddie. Not my Eddie. The demon bats, seeing that they had taken down my knight, retreat back to the Creel house. And Vecna stands. He stands at Eddie's feet, laughing darkly. the rage, the unchecked rage, it burns in my belly. Its flames lick at all my past pain. All the past pain that had gone unchecked since the first time I discovered that I was different. I thought I was a monster then. But now I know that I'm simply powerful. Vecna was right. I am powerful. I'm at my full potential, and it is time that I made the very person or thing that hurt me the most pay. But this time it's not Neil. From my position on the ground, I raise my palms and focus my eyes on my target, ready for whatever might come. The orbs, white hot and bigger than any of the others that I manifested in training, shoot forward, setting Vecna ablaze. I keep pushing, keep focusing on him and his howls of anguish until at last he's disintegrated in front of my very eyes. He's gone. The upside down is silent again, but still dark, still so very cold. I gather up all the strength I have and crawl towards Eddie, fighting back my tears as I sit up on my knees, taking his head and carefully, ever so carefully, resting it in my lap. Eddie, please. Please be okay. Please. Please. Eddie. Liz. My little snack cake. Eddie. Hey, stay with me. Stay with me, okay? We're gonna get out of here. I promise. Stay, please. Liz. Promise me something. Promise me you'll take care of the ankle biters. No, you stop it. You're going to be doing all that. You're going to be okay. You're going to take care of them. Liz, promise me you'll get married. Promise me you'll have babies. Babies that have your beautiful smile. No, you can't leave me. You hear me, Edward Munson? You cannot leave me. You promised me. You promised me forever. You're the one that's going to marry me. You're the one that's going to have kids with me. You. No one else. Eddie. Eddie. Oh, no. No. Eds. No. Please. You can't leave me. Oh. Eddie. His eyes. They're so glassy. They're not Eddie's eyes. And his chest is so still. I'm so frantic. There has to be something I could do. Oh, God, Liz, think. What can you do? What can I do? Alina the Fair. I'm Alina the Fair. I'm Alina the Fair. I can bring him back. But how though? How do you bring someone that you love so much back? Can it be done? I think back desperately. All our happy memories. And then I remember what he said the last time we were together. The last time we made love. Flashback. Hush. I'm trying to tell you the fairy tale of Princess Liz and her Prince Eddie. Anyway, as I was saying, you'll tell them goodbye and get in the van with me. Holding your hand on the stick shift. Of course. And we'll drive off with the morning sun behind us. I'll take you to our modest studio apartment on the west side of Chicago, where you and I will live poor, but happily ever after. Until I become a famous rock star. And me? You will go on tour with me, do our band's hair, and make us look like gods. Then, when things slow down, we'll have lots of babies. Lots. Oh, for sure. I want you barefoot and pregnant, Hargrove. Well, hopefully by then you'll give this poor bastard a break and agree to be his wife. Present day. It was our happily ever after. He was my happy ever after. It's stupid. But I think about all those fairy tales that Billy used to read to me when I was young. He would read them every night when Mama and Neil would fight, trying to drown him out. He wouldn't ever roll his eyes at their ridiculous notions of love. I think some of that was because he wanted to make sure I was a believer. And I was. During one of those nights, Billy said, "Liz, someday when you are all grown, you'll meet your true love. And your true love will do everything in his power to protect you. But you need to remember it's important that you protect him too. You need to promise to guard him and be strong for him. Because sometimes princes need rescuing too. Sometimes the prince needs to be awoken with true love's kiss as well." True love's kiss. It's foolish. It's absurd even. But it's an option. I listened to Billy's advice ever so carefully. I bend down and gently press my lips to Eddie's, my salty tears washing away some of his blood. My eyes remain closed, even though I feel the coldness of the upside-down defrost. It's warm again, and I can feel the sunshine hitting my back. I can feel the blood rushing through my veins. I rest my palms on Eddie's cheeks as I breathe into him, my kiss lingering. The world around us, it feels like it's spinning out of control. And I wait. Do you ever just put your arms out and just spin and spin and spin? Well, that's what love is like. Everything inside of you tells you to stop before you fall. But for some reason, you just keep going. Alice Hoffman, Practical Magic.
Ask me if there'll come a time when I grow tired of you. Never my love, never my love. You wonder if this heart of mine will lose its desire for you. You think love will end when you know that my whole life depends on you. Da, 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 never my love. Never my love. You say you fear I'll change